Hi. In this video, we will look at visual calculations. I think sometime last year, Power BI has introduced this feature. We have covered briefly this topic sometime last year, but I thought we will try to briefly look at what is visual calculations. And there is exhaustive documentation. If you go to Power BI documentation, they have given you all the explanations. As we scroll down briefly and look at the features and visual calculations, as the name indicates, it's on the visual. It's not stored in any of the model. And you can add visual calculations to your reports, hide certain fields, and do all those things, right? So the use case, I thought sometimes we don't have time to create an elaborate report because the user or the manager wants to see certain things as soon as possible, right? In that scenario, I thought maybe if you want to compare two selections made by the user and kind of create a small report page, how do you address that? I think visual calculations should be useful in those kind of scenarios. Those scenarios, it's pretty easy for us to use visual calculations. And also you have a lot of considerations and limitations. They work on only certain kind of visuals. So these are the visuals which they don't work on, like R, Python, and key influencers as such. So I suggest you to go read up on visual calculations. Now, this is the report page, nothing fancy here. There is a slicer up top, and also there is a table visual. And slicer and table visual values are coming from a calendar table, and also we have added the measure. So if you highlight any kind of visual, then only those new visual calculations will be available for you. There are already templates, and also you can use the custom, right? So once the first time you're using, these are the things which appear. So you can just read them up and close it. So in our case, I thought in case if you want to give a user this kind of report, and you want to look at what are the previous row. In fact, even though we are trying to compare 2 months here, but in fact, it is only previous row. So we can use the previous row function, add total steps, and also the rows. Once you close that, you can, that particular thing is calculated. You have your previous row values, and you can format, go to the format section, properties, and select that particular calculation which we have done just now, and make it a whole number. So similarly, you can calculate the difference and also percentages, right? So as we have seen on the report page, if user selects any kind of 2 months, those values will be shown in the report page. We can create a clustered column chart and show them in addition to the table visual, right? So these are pretty easy for us to understand. And as I said, it's an exhaustive documentation is there. You can do much more in using visual calculations. Again, remember, these visual calculations are on the visual only. They are not available in the data model. So as we chug along, we are trying to calculate the percentage and all. So we wanted to look at 3 different calculations. You can go and edit them too. You can hide them from the report page and all those things, right? So once we have done that, we are going to copy this visual and use copy. And you can create a calculation again from the visual itself as shown. And now we copy and kind of make changes. I have added this slicer, made it as a vertical list. And up top, you have your visual calculations table. And the bottom, you have a clustered column. I've added data labels also. Even though we are showing, like I said, we are trying to show 2 different months. In fact, it is previous row. So for example, user selects any kind of make selections on the slicer. Those values will be changed, and all the values are available. Since we have not made any selections, you can use control and click. You have selected 2, and once we selected 2, those things are 2 months. Those things are shown here. So it's a pretty quick fix for us. In case if you want to do it in other situations, you might have to write a couple of measures, but using visual calculations will make life easy and when you have a time crunch. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.